The publicity is building the houses upside down. We have bars and games, etc. So in November, quite often the weather is better than in October. I don't mean this year, because this year October is being very good. But October in Majorca quite often is a stormy month. I don't mean, this is Punta Balena, this street, can you see the street? Just after the corner is where all the action is at night. All the youth goes there. The bars, they start at 7 o'clock p.m. and they close at 7 o'clock a.m. or later. So very often October happens to be a stormy month. I don't mean that the temperature in October is cold. No, I mean that we have storms quite often in October. Whilst in November normally is a very good month. I mean, we have soft temperatures, not warm, not hot, but warm, and a peaceful month. We call it Veranillo de San Martin, Saint Martin's little summer. So we have almost every year 20-25 days on November when the weather is very good. At the 30th of October, and in November, in winter, we have only, Spanish people, some British people, some German people, but that's it, small amounts, nothing compared to summer. It's a pity, because November we will be happy to get tourists, and in the past in Majorca, when I say the past, I mean 70s, 80s until the 90s, until 92, 93, when everything started to change, we had winter tourism. Yes, we had winter tourism. Yes, I remember that. Many British tour operators, they used to operate here in winter. I remember one which is disappeared already, Clarkson's, I don't know if you remember it. Horizons disappeared as well. Intasan, an old tour operator, they used to take a lot of people here. Yeah, and now this is finished. Well, can you see this vegetation there? These caves? This was the original vegetation of Magaluf. Magaluf, before, we just went through Magaluf now, when I said to you that street, many apartments and villas especially. Villas and villas and villas and villas. I mean, it's enormous, very, very big, very large. And there is not a center in Palmanova, in Santa Ponsa Lake there is in Palmanova. In Santa Ponsa, the bay that will show you after the island. So now we'll go and see the islands, and then we'll pass by the front of the islands. You'll see them very well. You'll be able to take a picture, the red islands, I mean, and then we'll go to see the bay of Santa Ponsa. We stop just for a minute for you to take a picture. All right. So these are the red rocks, and you can see in front the Cape of Santa Ponsa, the Cape of the Bay of Santa Ponsa, and the red rocks. As well, and the beach is just in front. So, in 1229, here there was a fleet of 16,000 people waiting to attack the Arabs of Palma. It was the Catalan army, and from here they went to Palma. They sieged Palma, and the 31st of December 1229 they could destroy part of the walls, get into Palma, and they defeated the Arabs, the Catalans. After this, the history of Majorca changed completely. The Arabs, they were expelled, and the Catalans colonized this island. In the years after that, and these were the stables and cowsheds of the farm, because there was a farm and the manor house all together. We take this motorway and we want to stop until the port of D'Andraxt, and the church on the left, and the town in the bottom. That's a very feudal distribution. Civil power, religious power on top, simple people down there in the bottom of the valley. Means something, huh? It means something. And if you can see the church, you see the church there. Look at this church, no windows in the church, only little windows just under the roof. Can you see this? Why? Pirates again. The church, it was a fortress. The church, it was a fortress, used quite often as a fortress. So no windows, so they can jump in. The windows little and just under the roof. I said to you that this area was quite often attacked by pirates, being the closest one to Europe, to Africa. And now we go to the port, and in the port of D'Andraxt, fisherman harbour, still a fisherman harbour, but it was as well, especially in the last years of along the 19th century. You're welcome. Okay, this is the port of D'Andraxt. The port of D'Andraxt is small, it's not big, so 35 minutes, you'll have 35 minutes to see the port of D'Andraxt. We're going to drop you right in the center, so it's going to be quick for you to be where there is everything that you have you want to see. Paul is going to drop us at the bus station, and he's going to come and pick us up at the same bus station just 35 minutes after he drops us. So
speedway, please.
That's why I get the only place on the island with public toilets. It's a whole experience.
And I run out of water in one go when you're on my
Disabled
toilets. I can see a baby.
Yes, absolutely disabled.
Okay, toilets there. Then
The one about the life of the Archduke, the prince who came to live in Valldemosa. The two films, one is 20 minutes and the other one lasts 10 minutes. In my opinion, this will be the last choice, because I don't think nobody comes to Valldemosa to see the movies. But anyway, it's an option. Another option is an art gallery. There is an art gallery, and there you don't have to pay. It's free, subsidized by the Council of Valldemosa. And the art gallery is an art gallery of a painter who stayed in Valldemosa all his life, and is a very good painter. He painted landscapes of Majorca, sceneries of Majorca. And of course, the most important option the most important thing to see in Valldemosa is the town itself. The town itself. the old town of Valldemosa, to go by the little streets, to see the old houses, narrow streets, typical houses. And then in Valldemosa you'll have time as well to have lunch. In the main street, in Valldemosa there is a main street where there is a little shopping center and some places to have lunch. Not proper restaurants, but I always suggest a place for lunch which is the most reasonable one in price, and it's where I always have lunch. And there they make sandwiches, the Spanish and English sandwiches, both types, cakes, tea, coffee, etc. It's snacks, and it's this place has a terrace, a sunny terrace, or inside if you want. Or I mean, I go there and I know it's good, and I don't pay a lot of money, reasonable. The mountains, they were not very steep and not very rocky. There, normally there was somebody growing olive trees in terraces, because the most important income, it was olive oil. They used to sell the olive oil in the plain. The people on the plain, they had the money, because they could grow almond trees, which they sold, the almonds, I mean, to the mainland, to the confectioners of Barcelona and Alicante especially. And they made a lot of money selling of terraces. Pomegranates underneath, pomegranates. See them now again, the terraces and the water tanks down there on the left. Someone grows grapes as well. But most of the terraces, they are just with nothing in them. And round the chapel, they started building little houses. People started living round the chapel. These are the origins of the town. Then, from the chapel, the houses they grew, the town grew towards the north, and it became a town of about 900, 800 people. That was the population. At the 16th century, the first chapel was demolished, and they built the church, the first one that you see, Saint Bartholomew's Church. And the monastery church, it was built at the 18th. So these are the origins of Valldemosa. And the oldest houses that we keep in Valldemosa, it was founded at the 13th, but the oldest houses that we keep nowadays, they come from the 15th. That means that the 13th century buildings, chapel included, we don't keep anything. All gone. But in any case, 15th century, it's a long time ago, is an old, real Majorcan town built in the old Majorcan style. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be 10 past 1 or quarter past 1 when we get there. We'll be in Valldemosa until 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Time to see Valldemosa, time to have lunch, time to relax. Okay? And departure point, picking up point, the same point where we drop you off. Okay, we go this way.
Snacks.
Yeah, you could have tell us.
Well, nearly broken ankle there.
Yeah, I know, it's very uneven, this is.
Used to live in Edmonds, we'd have a field day out here, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I think all the councils they could see.
I'm trying to take everything around you and you can get to Look at the road.
Yeah.
You keep walking the wrong way. Who's that?
Oh.
I keep just like one. Right, left, right. Left, right, left. Oh, what, looking the wrong way?
Yeah, I go across the road.
Oh, that's habit, and when you get home,
Yeah.
you're looking the other way, then another way. This is a life of switch.
That is, yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
Might be better, won't it?
Have a look in here.
Sweet and happy, yeah.
It certainly doesn't look as tacky as other places we've been to, does it?
No. Oh, the toilets are there, yes.
So we go now this way to see the gardens of the monastery and the monastery, the outside of the monastery.
Yeah.
But let me show you the main street.
Right.
This is the main street. Then we'll go round and I'll drop you off in the main street or close to it. So when you are in the main street, you know that that way there is the coach, to find the coach. And from the main street straight, there is the old town.
Right.
Can you see the church there? The bell tower of the church?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
yeah.
that's it. At the end starts the old town. Okay, so what? The cafe that way. That way. Now, we go to the outside. Sorry, to see the gardens of the monastery and the outside of the monastery.
Yeah.
Then from the cafe,
Yes.
you go downstairs, you are in the main street. Or you can go by the street as well, by another street. Right? Very easy. Nothing is far in Valldemosa.
Go on. Good. Is he still not?
Yes, he's married to. Oh, what, Kurt?
Yeah. Oh.
I don't, well, he would be. Where's in Twickenham? They used to run a little things for their shop over there, or manager.
Oh, wow. A few years again.
Oh, yeah.
Mark done the back 65 years by now,
He's almost died. You can.
See the monastery.
Right.
I'm finished. It's white.
He said, right.
Ah, sorry.
Okay.
So-
okay.
So, the monastery is unfinished. They started building the monastery, at the 1757. They finished in 1812, but they didn't finish completely the monastery. They built the church, a long corridor that starts from this side of the church till here. There, you see? Can you see that wall? That's the corridor that they built, and they were missing to build another one going from there to here where we are just about, and another one from here to the other side of the church. But they couldn't. No money. Because, they opened this monastery in 1812. They went into the monastery. They said, well, we already built a long corridor which is facing the sun. Then we go there, and while we are there, we keep on building. No way. Because bad times came for the monks. The dissolution. After 1812, in 1835 came the dissolution, and in 1812 they didn't see the good times, because they couldn't foresee a good future, because in 1812 in Spain we approved the first constitution of the country, now 200 years ago. So when they said new constitution, that means that the old regime is going to have problems.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's really toasty.
Was it? Was that what? Ham and cheese?
Serrano.
Oh, was that the one you recommended before?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't have it with so much cheese. Oh, I thought I'd have a different thing.
She's got the money.
My wife keeps the money that's mine.
Oh, right, yes.
I can remember my dad came home from work, gave your mum the money, and she went to
Concerti the palace in there.
You remember that I said
The piano recital. You want the piano recital
the
now?
monks they built only one corridor.
Concert?
Two more. The church is there. So this corridor goes along the church. Should be another one going that way and another one going that way, finishing at the other side of the church. Okay? But what I couldn't tell you then, because you were not here to understood, is that inside of the monastery there is a cloister. Okay? So the total, the monastery, when it was finished, would include one corridor, another corridor, and at the other side of the church, another cloister as well. So the cloister is very, very curious. Would have been inside of the monastery, and round the garden, the big cloister, but without arches, was supposed to be round the garden. But this is finished because they couldn't finish the monk because of the dissolution of the monks. So we go, and this corridor is the longest one, 150 meters. Along this corridor there are rooms of monks. See, 1, 2, 3, for all the gates, all the doors, there are rooms of monks. We go to number 4, which is where Chopin and Jossan stayed. Okay? Here we go. Deo Maria.
Después.
Sí.
Mira después.
Sí, Nina, no te preocupes. Yes, what I didn't tell you, I wanted to tell you this, is that since the monastery was unfinished, the monks, they couldn't build, they decided first to build their room. And at the other side of the corridor, the other side of the monastery, I mean, they were supposed to build the common rooms. For instance, the dining room, or the chapter hall, or the visits room, etc. All these common rooms, they are not built. They all built the church and rooms or apartments. When I say rooms, in fact, they were living in apartments. They had space, they had room. And the biggest apartment, it was the Father Prior's apartment, which was the biggest one. And in this Prior's apartment, they used to use some of their rooms for the common rooms that they didn't build yet. For instance, the audience hall or the visitors room was in this room, in the Prior's room, and as well the chapter hall was in this room. But the original, the good chapter hall wasn't built yet. It was supposed to build at the other corridor, which is missing to be built. Okay, we'll go now and see the cell number 4. And all the cells, they were the same, exactly the same. So you see one, you see them all. And that's the other corridor that goes round the only cloister, and that corridor goes to the church. And these two statues there, Chopin and Jossan. They are modern. They put them there. They built them about 2 months ago. So you see this room, see this cell. The one we go and see is just exactly the same. Exactly.
Peter?
Tickets, please.
Yes.
2 personas.
It is round here.
Muy bien. Por aquí.
I'll put his ticket there.
One problem in life.
Yeah, more.
252.
Why the discussion on monasteries? Because he said the monks, they weren't doing anything bad. Very important. The dissolution happened in 1845. Okay, before this and between 1810 and 1824, Spain has lost all their properties in America. You know that Spain was one of the countries who had more land in America. Argentina belonged to Spain, Mexico belonged to Spain, Colombia, Peru, Cuba, well, from the south of Argentina till the middle of United States, part of the United States was Spanish. So, losing all the American colonies, the Spain needed money because these countries, they didn't pay anything to Spain. So, when they lost everything in 14 years, they said, we don't know. So that's the reason why they expropriated the lands of the monasteries to get money, to sell the lands, to put the lands on the market to sell them, and to get money for the state. Wasn't a good step. Because they didn't collect a lot of money. Because what happens when there is in the market there is a lot of everything or something, prices go down.
Yeah. So you didn't get much for it. So where did the monks go?
The monks, that was a fight between the church and the government. Okay, some monks they went to other monasteries that in this fight with the state they could keep some lands because the monks they were not expelled from the monasteries. All the government did was to expropriate the lands, the farms. Now, what happens if in a monastery there is a monk or a few monks powerful that they belong to important families? They can keep the lands, or someday they can buy the lands. These monasteries they stayed. The poor ones, they lost everything. So, the monks of Valldemosa, some of them they went to Valencia. To a monastery where in this fight with the government they could keep some land and they lost. And the first days became carpenter, they went to their farm, the solution is okay. Now we are in an environment of the old cells. You can see the old cells small glass. Not very good, but we are talking about 1838. In 1838, that piano was a good piano. Of course, there were better pianos than this one, but this one was a player piano, and the player house was one of the best houses to make pianos in the world. And Chopin was a very good friend of Camille Pleyel. Camille Pleyel was the son of the owner of this factory, and Camille Pleyel pushed to his father to send this piano to Chopin to Majorca, because when Chopin, when he came here, he thought that he was going to stay here for good. You see? Because he was very bad in Paris, because his lungs they were not feeling good, so they said to him, go to a sunny country. He came to stay. But when he was in Valldemosa, he understood that he couldn't stay in Majorca, in Valldemosa at least, and in Valldemosa he discovered that he had TB. When he had TB, he said, I go back to Paris to be killed. But here, in Valldemosa, he composed a lot. He composed a lot. Many preludes, lots of them. The most famous one is the rainwater prelude, you call it like this? The raindrop. The raindrop, what? Raindrop prelude. The raindrop prelude, I was missing the raindrop prelude. and he composed it in this room. Probably when he saw the drop rains in this window. One day that he was alone. He spent many days alone, many days, because George Sand was had a lot of things to do, going to Palma, buying in the market, etc., etc. He was a long time alone, and he composed a lot because he was alone here, long hours, long days. Okay, and he had nothing to do in Valldemosa, and especially because in Valldemosa that winter was raining, and it was a dark winter. Bad winter. You can see here the document that proves that this piano was sent to Chopin in Valldemosa. This piano, although he used it only for about 20-25 days, because he was stopped, this piano, in Palma, in the customs in Palma, almost 2 months, between Marseille, Barcelona and Palma. The cost of this piano is 700 francs, was 700 francs in 1838. George Sand had to pay 400 francs to the Majorcan customs to get it out. So you understand why he was took so long time to.
Only a small piano, it's only 6 octave piano.
What?
It's only 6 octaves.
6 octaves.
It's a small piano.
I don't know, it's a small piano, yeah.
Yeah,
Small piano.
because the normal grand piano
Yeah.
have 8 octaves.
8 octaves, yeah.
Much greater range of notes.
Yeah, that's.
So it's only a small piano.
That's the one he got it anyway from Paris. Okay.
I know that because I learned on a 6 octave piano.
When you listen to the music, you'll probably know why.
No, that shouldn't make any difference. Just remember the range of notes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, he would, but.
And you remember I told you that the reason why Chopin came here to Valldemosa, it was because a bank owner had this room here. He's a bank owner, and he was married to a French woman.
Yeah.
And this French woman was the contact between George Sand and her. I mean, someone put them in contact. And that's the reason why Chopin, they said, we go to Majorca because in Majorca we have a friend, a French woman who speaks French, we'll understand her. And then she's married to Bancona, so we'll be protected, Bancona or someone with money. So that's the reason why they came to Majorca, and at the end, the reason why they came to this apartment. And then that picture is the apartment, how it was when Chopin and George Sand were there.
You're where? You are you? Oh, right, I know.
I knew I'd come and use it.
You're a bit hot, you're a bit tall for this, aren't you? Eh? You mean with the the growth? You're meaning to do that.
He's waiting for everybody to get out of the way. Get out of the way.
So this is the valley of Valldemosa. This is the view that the monks had. And at the end, Palma. You don't see Palma today because it's a little bit misty, but Palma. And there is water here.
Yeah, noticed.
Okay? So they got the water from a spring, a big spring, which is a little bit more to the north. And the water went through this channel. And there they had a water tank to water these growth.
They put me in. They've done little tiny things like this, like really
They
grow.
grow depending on the size of the
Yeah.
size of
Because the pond's very deep as well, and you go out there now and they're like, I mean, massive great things. They have to put things across because the old herons come
That's right.
over and have
I've got that. It's, there's a heron sitting on the chimney. And my next door neighbour had dozens of fish in her ponds, and she'd have to blinking nesting for some reason. And it swooped down and gobbled a lot up all of them. Because the fish are attracted to their legs apparently. So,
Really?
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah.
I've seen the seagulls. One seagull. The fish. My daddy puts them. this seagull had this fish in its mouth. It was only a young seagull, and it didn't quite know how to shape it. It kept on dropping it down and eating it, and it took ages. And every time it dropped it down, the other seagulls come and swimming. It was a picture. It was. It wasn't going to let go of this fish.
Orange submarine's coming down.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's massive. I didn't think that it does.
Oh, sorry. Oh, wasn't you?
Looks like that one's got something in its tail. We've got now pond.
He's going to ball you.
Oh, they do get bigger. Like I say, my friend's got some little ones like this, and then they're like this. And they do huge. Yeah, they're kind of the size of your pond. The bigger pond, the fish grow.
Can we have a coffee?
That's a great fish. Right.
Most of the artists who've painted here or drawn here seem to have made a lot of his very large nose, don't they? In fact, I'd say some of the cartoonists couldn't you?
And this is the last room of the cell with the chandelier there, absolutely necessary. Because imagine Chopin on their own and Mozart in this enormous building. In those days, no central heating, nothing, chandeliers. So they badly needed the chandelier. And here you can see Chopin when he was 19. The parents of Chopin. He was French, she was Polish. Both were Jewish. The house where he was born, in Telafora, near Warsaw. And over there, you can see a picture of Chopin giving a concert in Paris. There you can see the house, well, the dining room of a country house of George Sand outside Paris. She, George Sand, there. And there you can see something very interesting because this is Chopin. This is the death mask of Chopin.